I always wanted to keep bees. Not having grown up on a farm, there was something terribly romantic about bees. My husband was allergic to bees, but he died a few years ago. And by chance, on my 60th birthday, I happened to be driving in the country and I passed a bee store and I thought, sod it, I'm going to do it. So I went in and I just said, I've never kept bees before, but I want to get started. And the guy was very nice. I think beekeepers tend to be very nice, very kind, usually pretty frugal. And he set me up with a hive and the minimum tools that I needed. And in fact, he set me up with more than I actually need. So really all you need is the hive with its frames, and you need a hive tool, and you need maybe a bee brush and your beekeeper's uniform, which is terribly important. I'd always wanted to keep bees, partly because they're so mysterious. Just the whole idea of this tiny little community, which is so productive, has really always appealed to me. And what I love about beekeeping is you get the honey, but you also get the wax, and you can turn it into candles, and you get the propolis, which I often use just as glue. So I guess it appeals to the frugal part of me. And I feel a sort of affinity with my bees. I feel that I'm the mother looking after them. I love just sitting there watching them and trying to work out what they're doing and trying to work out which is the queen and which are the drones and stuff. The fact is, bees have been in existence for thousands of years before human beings came into existence, so they know how to look after themselves. I know we've brought in diseases and things, and in fact, my first year, it went brilliantly. I got lots of honey, and I thought, oh, this is a doddle. And then the second year, over the winter, the bees seemed fine. They come out occasionally in the winter in England because it's not too cold. They fly away to defecate. And by early March, I could see them coming out. And then we had a lot of rain. And suddenly, at the end of March, I opened the hives, and they were both dead. It was terrifying. It was like the last days of Pompeii. You could see them dead in the midst of their actions. Some of them were cleaning out the cells, and some of them seemed to be hovering around the queen, and they were just dead. So I felt dreadful. And I also felt a bit like a murderer, and I felt, oh, you're an amateur, you shouldn't have done this, you should have known what you were doing. But I kept them successfully for a year. Anyway, I went online and I spoke to various people, and everyone had a different suggestion as to what had gone wrong. I think possibly the queen disappeared, or possibly it just got too cold, or the damp got in. Well, I thought, I'm not going to be defeated by this. Stupider people than me have done it. And I thought I'd try one more time, and so I got another nucleus, and the second year, they did very well. Halfway through the second year, somebody rang me up with a swarm, and so I collected the swarm, which was very, very satisfying. So I thought, okay, this is going to be a real test. But anyway, I donned my beekeeping outfit, and I got a box, and I got a white sheet. I remembered reading somewhere that you needed a sheet, but I couldn't think what you did with it. But anyway, I got the box, and I taped it all up, all the bottom together. And I got the sheet, and I went off to the theatre, and luckily they were hanging on a low-hanging branch, and so I just cut the branch into the box and then put the sheet draping into the box, because I remember that the bees climb up the sheet and get into the box. And anyway, they all, gathered together and climbed into the box, and then I quickly sealed it and put tape around it and stuck it in the back of the car and drove home. It was absolute magic. So I had the swarm, and I was really thrilled with the swarm, and I built it up over the autumn. But over the winter, that colony died. But the other colony is doing extremely well. And now we're in mid-April, and I've just split the hive. I hope not too soon. Once you've got the original hive, you don't really need to do much. The hive itself, setting yourself up, is quite expensive. It was about, I can't remember, it was a couple of years ago, but maybe £300, which, I don't know, is maybe $400. I imagine if you've got friends who are beekeepers, you could do it much more cheaply. The main expense is the nucleus, which is basically half a hive worth of bees, which is maybe 30,000 bees, because a full hive is 60,000 bees. But if you get a nucleus at the beginning of the spring, by midsummer you'll have a full colony, and you'll be able to take some honey off in the autumn. It's quite terrifying, the idea of doing it, but once you've done it once, then you know you can do it. And the fact is, the bees are not out to get you. They will only sting if they're very, very threatened, because of course they die if they sting. You get a sting, which is unpleasant, but they are much more committed. I suppose now I feel more confident. I'm much more ready to experiment. And anything you want to do, you can find very clear instructions online. But at a basic level, it's very, very simple. There are some really good books out there. And that's it, really. I just learned how to keep the bees by looking online.